missing, Rajesh is missing, else we could have more attendance. You can see here recording has been started. So now I'm coming to my part, and here we have switch keys. So you see here the page number means you will just calculate that how much percentage we have calculated in Java so far. If we have received some book, so I was telling you that I will discuss these programs. So write a program to print the largest of three numbers using if else if. Since you have to use if else and then again if you have to use. This is one question. Write a program to check whether a character is a vowel or consonant. So this part we have already done. So no need to check again. And write a program to check whether number entered from the user is positive or negative. So this also we have done or not. But let me check if I have done or not. It is saying that enter some number and check whether that number is positive or negative. So I'm copying and pasting it. This is basically if else. Yo SITA positive or negative. I'm coming here. It is saying that use the scanner class. Scanner class will be used int num. I'm saying enter any number. And after that I'm putting a backslash n. So what it will do, this message will be printed and cursor will be highlighted in the next line. And I'm saying that this is number, and I'm saying that if number, condition part, if number is greater than equal to 0, then I will message positive number. So there can be only two kind of numbers, right? Either it can be positive or negative. So including 0, I'm taking it as a positive number. And if there is any other case, then I will say negative. Okay. So let me run this, and you see here. If you are not familiar with this, again I am repeating here. This is a scanner class. Basically, it comes into the picture when you have to take the input from the keyboard. So my intention is to take the input from the keyboard, and here I'm creating the object of a scanner class as a scan, and then this is the just a message, and there I'm printing, like not printing, I'm just taking this input. So I want to read the number in the integer format. So that's why I'm using a scan.nextInt. So it will scan it in the integer format. And then I'm checking if number is greater than equal to 0, then positive, else negative. And finally, end of the program, a out message. There is a way of formatting in Eclipse. You select all, go to source, and you will see a format. Shortcut you can remember Control Shift F. So it will do a formatting as well. Sometimes I'm using it in Eclipse. And let me execute this program. So it is saying that enter any number. So I'm entering a number in like 45. So it is accepting the number, and then when I hit enter button, it is saying positive, then end of the program like this. You can see here, right? So this was our question. Write a program to check whether number is entered from the user. It means that you have to enter it, not initialize it initially. So that's why I'm using a scanner class. And the number is positive or negative. So I'm able to print that. This is already done. And this is something interesting question. You have to tell that which number is the largest one. So recently, like when I was having a different batch, so I had this similar question, I believe. Let me check if it is there. If else demo. Not there. Somewhere it is there. Let me search. Search. What should I search? Let me try with X. So many places it is. Then. Think lab exercise. Largest number example. I think this one is the largest of three number. So it is here. You can go and check. Search. I think this one is the same. Test marks. I think this was the question, and this you can take one example. So consider that I have a three number 50, 20 and 55, and now you have to test and tell me which number is the biggest number. You have to tell me the biggest number. So what I am putting condition, first I am comparing A with B and A with C. If this condition is true, it means A is the biggest number. If this condition is not true, then I am testing whether B is greater than, it will come here when this one condition is not matching, it means B will be bigger than that. So if this condition is matching, then A will be bigger. If this condition will be matching, then I will say that B is bigger. And if this is also not matching, the last condition is the last option, but C is the biggest number. So I have placed something like that, and you can just check how it is behaving like that. So first let me show you the output, then you can think of it. So I have three numbers, 500, 20 and 55. I am testing it. Just a small logic I have written, and see how you am able to do that. So logic is that first test this, now take this number A and just compare with whether it is this greater than this, whether greater than C. If it is greater than both, just say that this is number is the biggest number. If that is not the case, then you are coming here in the second part, which is B is greater than C. So when it will come here, when it will find that this condition is not true. Let me run this. You can see it's saying that greater number is 55. Close, close. So I'm just taking this example, and you can just check. So you can check the place of number different, like I'm saying that it is 11, this is 20, this is 5. So it will first check whether it is the greatest number or not. If it is not, then it will check that whether B is greater than C. So it will find that B is greater than C, then it will say that it is the greatest number. So like that, I have write the logic for that. And if it is not like matching this condition, then it will come down and it will say that C is the biggest number. So in this way, it is showing that. So you can just run it, or let me debug it first. I'm putting a toggle point. So what does the toggle point do? When you run in the debug mode, it will come and stop over here. Let me put a toggle point here. So toggle point here means when my execution will be started, it will wait for me that to proceed with the next step, or you want to analyze something there. Let me remove it's already there. It is not there. Okay. Now I'm going to execute this in the debug mode. How to execute in the debug mode? Just right click here and go to not run as, go to debug as, and then go to Java application. So what it will do, execution will be started and the perspective will be changed. The perspective is now debug mode. This is the Java mode, this is the debug mode. So now it is running in the debug mode, and where I have put the breakpoints, we call it breakpoints, the execution is waiting for me to proceed because it will keep on waiting. So this is something step over. Normally we are using this too frequently, and when there is a matter, you can go and check the logic what it is written. For that you can go into step into, but here I am using mostly step over. Step over means next step. So once I click here, you see here in the local variable section, this is initialized. Again, B is 20, C is 5. So all three variables initialized. So this condition will be tested. So how you will evaluate? Just select this up to here and right click and go to inspect. It is saying that it is false. So what does it mean? If it is a false, it will not execute line number 13. It will come here, line number 14. Again it will check for whether B is greater than C. So B is greater than C. So this will be match, then it will print the greatest number is B. So it came here, you check here, it came here already. And now I am evaluating this condition. Inspect. It is saying that it is true. So once it is true, what it will do? It will come to line number 15 and it will be printed. So see here, it came here and it printed. And after printing, it came to this curly bracket, not the else part. And from here it will come out because it has done the if else kind of thing. And now when you came to the main one, this is the main and this is the class one. So once you came to the main, don't execute it further by a step over. You just click on resume. And once your execution is completed, you switch back to Java perspective mode. So this is something, one example, but I have to test it for this condition as well, because two things we have already tested. So let me put it as 50 and I will execute in the same debug mode. So this I am going debug mode, either right click, or if you have the debug option enabled, so you can just execute it. So A is 11, B is 20 and C is 50. It came here, it will be false. B is greater than C, so this is also false. So where it came? It came into the else part and this will be executed. Greater number is C. And this is the main part. When you come to the main part, just click here, resume, Java perspective. Anyone, any doubt? We have already resolved this question. See here. So no questions, then I can take the further topic. So this is loop control. So basically what is loop means, if you have something, one line of code or more than one line of code and you want to repeat it for number of times. So those things you can take in the loop control system. It means it makes your work easy. Take one example, you have to do a printing of integer number from 1 to 100. So see here, every time you have to do printing, and you think of a scenario, if you have to write like sout print sout1, sout2, so it will be so tedious job. And consider that you have 1,000 numbers to print. So like writing wise also, the code will be so long, and the printing wise also, like the code will be like so long. So everything will be becoming complex. So for controlling those things, minimization of code, you can say optimization of code, and the same repetitive work is put under control of loop. So loop is something like one things many time you want to do. So those kind of things you can put in the loop. So introduction about loop we have already gone through, and this is a for loop. So before starting the for loop, you just understand the syntax. So this is small for, you have to write, then small bracket and a small bracket closing, no semicolon. Okay, just remember this. When you are writing loop, don't put any semicolon, because semicolon means termination of a statement. So it will not proceed to this execution thing. So don't put a semicolon, it means it's a continuation of a statement. So basically for loop I'm writing and in a single line, but since arranging wise I'm putting it in a multiple line. Now we have a curly brackets here and a curly brackets here. This is optional part, and if you have more than one line statement, then you can use it mandatory. Okay, because you are telling that this much I want to execute multiple times. Now coming to this part. So when you have a for syntax, loop syntax, so one thing is initialization, and it can be one more is also allowed. So this is divided into three sections. One section is initialization, second section is condition, which can be only one. Initialization can be multiple, means one initialization, two variable initialization, 3 number initialization, many things you can do. Increment and decrement also multiple can be done, but the condition will be only one. So condition means something which is returning you true or false. So that is called condition. So based on condition, it will enter in the loop, and once the condition is over, finished, then that loop will be discontinued. Okay, and this is a statement like S out or whatever you want to do, plus plus, minus minus, everything comes under that part. This is a simple example of a Java program using loop. It is basically printing 10 to 1. So you see here, let me copy this and explain you. Where it is for loop. Loop demo. I got it. So for loop demo. Coming to this part. First let me execute that part, the given example part. See, this is for loop syntax. First try to understand the syntax. Okay. So here, first thing is initialization. So keep here like this and then put a semicolon. It can be more than 1. So allowed. Second part is condition. And third part is increment or decrement. So you see here I equal to 10 and I want to print from 10 to 1. So I will put that I is greater than equal to 1. So initial value will be 10 and I will go up to 1 and then it will be I minus minus. So minus minus, how it will move on, let me tell you that part. What it will do, it will come first here. This is one time activity only. Okay, and this is optional, means you don't need to initialize it here if you are doing somewhere else, but it's better to do here. So this is a one time activity. First time it will initialize it and then it will go here, condition check. So what is the value of I? So now the value of I is 10. So 10 is greater than equal to 1. Condition is true. So once the condition is true, then it will move to the downward and it will do whatever the lines you have written here. The execution will completed. Once it found this one, then it will just come here and do this part. So now the value of I becomes 9 and then once the 9 become, then it will again come here in the condition. So it will come here in the condition and it will check whether condition is true or false. So condition is still true. So condition is true, then it will enter in the loop. As the condition will become false, it will not enter in the loop and it will come out. Okay. So this is for your understanding and just want to print it, the value of I. Okay. Let me comment other parts which is not needed for now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can set the condition and you can check. Say that I put 5, means 10 to 5. Someone asks you, no, 100 to 1. So it is reverse order printing is going on. I'm coming back to that array part, how to print the reverse. But first understand these basic concepts, then you will easily understand that part. So here, but if you want to print in the same line, so do one thing, just use println and put here some space plus, and you can put a comma. $199 like that it is printed up to 1. You can see here. So it's up to you how you want to design it. This is one example. I'll see other examples on the loop. This is one example. What I am trying to do here, for 10 times 1 and I is less than 10, it means 10 times I want to print the date, new date. You can just write it like this, and the value of I, I'm dot 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 printing I, means it will say the date and it will say that 1 2 3, means counter will be there, should be okay. And I am putting this line number 19 called delay. This is called interrupt, thread dot slip. So it is saying interrupt exception as well, you can see. So when you put thread dot slip, it will be automatically detected by the compiler, and then it will ask you to declare the throws declaration of this exception. So it's normal like compile time error. That's why it is a compile time exception we call it. It is checked. And then once your design is ready, you go and test. Why I have put line number 16? Because I want to delay the execution for 1 second. Because it is so fast, so that you will never know what is happening. You see here, I'm putting the counter so that it will show how many times you have printed. It is printing the date every time the second is changing. So why this logic is that you can check here. I have put a thread dot sleep. If I put a thread dot sleep of 2 seconds, it's 2000 milliseconds. You see here, execution is completed for the loops. So this is basic number printing considered of array. I will come to that point. This you have an array, you have so many numbers in the array and you want to print the numbers one by one. So that is also possible using array. So I will show you a couple of examples. This is done. Now another example I have to print the value of I. So this already we have already seen, so no need to see again. And this is something, a new loop, we call it while loop. Basically earlier people were using while loop, but later on they have designed everything and for loop. So for loop is more popular, but sometimes this while loop is also being used. So just have a look about the for loop syntax. initialization should be there, condition should be there, and increment and decrement should be there. So three things also same for loop. Means any loop is there, these three things will be there. So you do here initialization part you are doing before while loop. While loop is starting from line number 26. So before entering in the loop, I am initializing it. Okay. And the condition part, you check in the for loop, there was a condition part. So condition part you put here, it will evaluate true or false. So based on true condition, it will enter in the while loop. And what I am trying to do, same thing which I printed over here, I am printing here 1 second difference. And when it will come here, it printing here. So I asked you about increment and decrement, you remember. So here I am doing increment, but how I am doing increment? I am using a postfix. But here, so what it will do, it will, once it will be completed, line number 27 will be completed. So increment will be done. If it is not used here, so later on also you can do in the bottom lines, means before closing of this. Okay, line number 29, you can use. Let's see the output. So it printed same way. Is whatever I was getting from the for loop, same way it is printing. Only the syntax is changed. Initialization part before entering in the while loop, and condition part here, and then increment and decrement you can put here inside any boolean. But before closing of this, you must close it. Okay. Anyone has any questions? I will show you like 1 to 100 printing should be okay using while loop. I'm taking here Z. Here I don't want to print date and all such things. Plus comma or space. So let me run this, not Z. I have to use Z here. All things are based on Z. Oh, this was on, right? Let me comment this part. And this I am putting as 100. And since I have removed this part, it will be so fast. So it already printed, you can see here, up to 100. But consider one scenario, you want to print only what you call even numbers, odd numbers kind of thing. Like, so starting from 1. So I want to print odd number. So how I will do that? In that condition, so print here Z, and after completion of this line, you write Z plus equal to 5. So this is a shortcut way of writing, and what it will do, it will print the value of Z here. Sorry. 2. It's not the increment of 1, I want to increment of 2. So this is a shortcut way of writing z plus equal to 2. It means z equal to z plus 2. This will be same as z equal to z plus 2. So this is a way of writing. You can use it in the Java programming and it will be impressive. Z plus equal to 2. So it is same as z equal to z plus 2. You will see here it will first print 1 and next time it will become 3. So it will become print 3. And let me show you after execution. You see here 1, 3, 5, 7 to 99. If someone is asking, I want to print the value of or table of 5. So initial value is 5. Every time add 5. So it is printing. You can see similar like that you can think of that. So let me comment this part. There is another loop. There is another loop and that loop we are calling it do while loop. So in every other loop you have to first initialize the condition, like initialize the variable, and then you have to test the condition and then only the loop works. But do while loop is something different way of working. Only slight change it is having. The first time for doing something it won't check any condition, but for the next time it will check. So consider that here before starting I am setting int I equal to 1. Then I am writing 45 number do, and it has a block. You can see a block. So this is the block starting and this is the closing of block. So inside that whatever you have written, that will be first time without any condition check it will be printed. But next time for printing next time it will check the condition while loop. So even the condition is false, it doesn't matter. Consider that I am taking here 100. So it will come here in the do section, and this is not a condition, it will definitely come. There is a no restriction, it will come. It will do this. Okay, and then it will check here. Now when it will come here, it is checking a condition. I is less than equal to 10, but I is already 100, so this condition will be false. So second time it will not print because this is a do while. It only works for a condition, and first time it doesn't check condition. You see here it is printing the date. And okay, you can see it is printing the date, but second time it is not printing. Why? Because the condition is false. So if I can put it 1, because as my condition I have put I plus plus. So first time it will do, second time it will check, and when it will check it's found that true, then it will do second time. So number of times it will do, and my condition is 10 times starting from 1 to 10. So let's see. So every time it is printing current date, and so since execution is very fast, you can see in 1 second it executed everything. So this is something looping condition, and I have one if condition similar like that if condition, and this is called ternary operator in Java. I will introduce this part as well. If else. New class. I have this example and I will show you here. Just try to understand what I'm trying to do here. I'm saying that basically just try to understand the syntax. So this will be a condition. How you were writing if? You were writing if condition and then something true or false. So else part is also there. So this is just one liner, similar like if else. So this section is called else section. This section is called true section. Okay, section of if condition will be true, so this section will be executed. If condition will be false, then it will come and execute this section. And finally, whatever the evaluation value will be there, it is just assigning here in the line number 8. You can just print it as well. It will be okay. I'm saying that if x is less than y, it means a condition is true, right? If x is less than y, then what I'm doing, y plus x. So both I am adding here and assigning to the x. If this condition is not matching, then it will come here, it will subtract and it will assign to x. And finally I am printing to x. So let me run this. You can see it is coming as a 35. And why it is coming as a 35? Because x is less than y. And if I put here more bigger number, 45, then I am expecting that if it is false, x, then it will subtract this and then it will print the value. So minus 25 it is coming because the value of y is 20 minus 45. So minus 25 it is coming. So like this is the ternary operator. I'll show you more examples for this. Close, where is close? So many places it is coming. Basically, yes, it's a wild character. That's why it is taking question mark. But anyway, I already showed you that demo, but I like to show more demo for that. Before moving to that, I have other examples I would like to show you. This is for loop. You have already seen these examples, how to use it. And this is for loop demo 1. So again, it is a for loop. Consider that this is a string. This is interview questions, I believe. This is one string and someone is asking you that I want the word in reverse order, not the characters. So both way I will show you character reverse and word reverse. So first let's see the word reverse, not the character reverse. So how I am going to do that? In line number 11, I am having one method called split method, which is on the string. As of now, you don't gone through the string class, but since loop you have come to know, so you should be familiar with this. So what I am trying to do, based on this speech, I am splitting it. Earlier it was a sentence, now it will become the words. Okay, so split on the basis of spaces. So this will split it, and by default it gives the array. So it is a string array. Array, it means similar kind of data type. So now, just basic example I'm saying, I have to cover this part later when I will deal with the array. So what I am trying to do, I am splitting it. Now it is a character array, and this will become the word 0. This is 1. This is the second one. This is the third. So indexing will be 0, 1, 2, 3. So if you have the indexing, then you can easily access it. And now in the line number 14 to 16, just focus here. I am trying to print it in the reverse order. So initial value, it means the value of I. So I want to start from the last position. Okay, so every array in Java has this variable dot length. This is the by default variable with any of the array in Java. So indexing position is always -1. So indexing position, I am saying that if the size is 5, take the indexing position as 4. So that's why you have to keep -1. And since it is a reverse order printing, so starting from the last position, come to the 0th position. So I'm saying that I will be equal to or greater than 0. So this is the condition, and this is minus minus. Every time, initially it will be 4, then next time it will be 3, then it will 2, like this. And for printing, line number 15, simple array name, then best big bracket, and the index which you want to use, access, and then just a printing here. You can see this is word reverse, not the character reverse. So this part also will be covered in the detail when I will go with the array thing. As of now, just high level things I want to show you. This part already shown. Can see here I have a question which shows that we have a for loop and I want to use two things. One is break and one is continue. So let's first see with the break part. See, I'm initializing the initial value of ch is starting is capital A. So character initialization you already know by doing that. I'm saying that 1 to 100 loop is going on. Okay, so this is a means 100 times I want to print. This is something condition I am taking up, that I is less than equal to 100. Once to 100 I wanted to print, and now in this condition I am putting see the range of character is 65 to 90. So I am saying that if it is greater than 90, then break. If it is not, then it will come to line number 27, and then it will print the value of character and increment it. So character value is whatever it will print, and it will increment for next loop. And then when it will come, it will find that there is nothing. Then again it will go here, and the value of I will be incremented. It's just 100 times loop I am taking, but in between, this is just a demo. I just taking you 1 or 1000 times also I can take. It doesn't matter. The main logic is applied here. If it is the ch value will be greater than 90. Now you're thinking that how it is converted. So integer character conversion is allowed. So that's why I am putting a greater than equal 90. Then it will automatically convert its numerical value, and then it will compare. And then while I am printing here, it will just keep on printing the characters here. You can see. So it printed capital only. Check here. Can see. So it's already printing here up to Z, 26 characters, and after that there is nothing to print. But think of a scenario, you have to print capital and a small. Then how you will do that? Then you put this condition greater than 122. So what will do? First it will print the capital on, and then in middle of that ASCII character there is some other characters as well, which also it will print, and everything it will print. So I'm putting main condition, this one. If it is not fulfilling this, just break it. So it will break out of the loop. Okay. The break is for when the condition is true, it will break the loop. So when the value of CH, initial value is 65, and it will keep on growing. It will print every characters, but once it found that CH is greater than 122, then it will break up the loop. So let's show you. So it is printing here, but in between some special characters also coming, you see, which is not good. I don't want to print this one. So how to control this one? My loop is there, that should be okay, but there is a continue statement in Java. So continue statement, what it does, when it find continues, it doesn't execute next line of code. It just take the control from here, line number 22 to line number 19, this part. Okay, so this will keep on doing, and this will control your execution if you don't want to print a certain range. So I am saying that if it is greater than 90 and CH is less than 97, so what it is happening means from 91 to 96, 91 to 96 there are special characters. So for this I am saying that increment the char CH and continue, don't print it. So it will not print, it will just continue. So once it found the continue, it will not go to next line of code. So till the time it will keep on incrementing only, and once this condition is false, then it will go for the normal execution thing, because if condition is not matching. So now I run it, you see the output. So first it printed capital, and then it printing is small, but the special characters are not printed over here. So that's the main important thing about it. So this is about continue and break. Break will just break out the loop. If any loop is there, it will break, and continue will not break the loop. It will just not execute the further part. It will just come here, and again normal execution will come. So based on some condition only you use break or continue. This is highly advisable. If there is some condition, then only use, otherwise your program logic will be spoiled. So any other questions, anyone has any doubt? So we have gone through for loop, and then we have gone through while loop, then we have gone through do while loop, and then we have for each loop. So for each loop we will see next day. So basic looping concept we have already gone through. Anyone has any doubt?
No, Raj.
Then what to go? I'm going for pausing the execution. Sorry,
Thank
recording.
you, sir.
Thank you, welcome. Stop recording.